Everybody, welcome back to Ox Talks. Hope you guys can see me and hear me. Someone can, one of the 7 people right now watching, can one of you guys shoot me a quick message? Let me know if you can hear me, clear me, and see me. Give me a thumbs up or something. Appreciate you being here. Wanted to check in and discuss. I've had some requests, several requests from people to discuss the get home bag, my get home bag, and what I do personally for that process. And I do, uh, let's say, suggest and advocate for everybody to have these get home bags. I distinguish a get home bag. I think we have a 60-second delay for some reason on questions. So again, someone give me a thumbs up or something if you guys can hear me and see me, please. Uh, I advocate for everybody having a get home bag in their vehicle. Doesn't matter where you live in the United States, West Coast, East Coast, around the world, right? We're all susceptible to different types of events, different types of emergencies, calamities, things like that. So we're going to discuss that today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Pete. How you doing, Pete? Can you hear me and see me? Okay, thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Johnny. Johnny C. So we're going to take our time today and just discuss my get home bag. And I think I've said this before. I mean, it's not one size fits all. Everybody has to have their own setup, their own bag, what works for them. For example, I just weighed, and we'll go through this. I'm going to open it for the first time in a while. Got it out of the car, and we're going to dissect what I have. But weight is important. I weighed the bag. My bag is 28 pounds. Now, guys, you can weigh in, guys and gals, and let me know if you think that that's too heavy. I'm 6'2", about 205. Maybe I'm 210 now, but I can carry off a 28-pound bag. Now, could I carry the bag for 30 miles? It would be challenging, obviously. If you're a lady, um, and this is not a sexist comment, but obviously, depending on your body weight and your strength, you got to consider weight of your bag, okay, and what it entails and what you include in the bag. So I'm just going to tell you what I do. Before I jump into the topic, let me just share a couple things about the channel. If you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. I want to keep growing the channel. Let's get ourselves up to 10,000 and keep going. I've discussed before on this channel, I don't come out here for the money. I make a good living of almost 30 years. December of this year, I'll be 30 years in the legal profession as a litigator, some transaction work, business contract, real estate, some estate planning. So I'm not here talking to you guys for that purpose or asking you to send me money or click on this link. I'm just saying please subscribe, because the more that we have views and the more subscribers we have, the more that YouTube will push these videos out to people. And for me, that's really what it's about. Is just, I'm 54 years old. I mean, I've gone through some stuff, gone through some financial issues, lived through the great financial crisis, and so and I've been prepping for about, I'd say, 13 years now. I think since about 2011 or 12 is when I started. Okay, hi Betsy, and so I've got some things I can share. And again, you may not all agree with me, and so all I can do is try to educate you with what I do. And we discuss it all the time in terms of some preps. I come on here and do some economic stuff. You've got thousands of YouTube channels doing that. Obviously, we know that. You all have lots of choices. Hey, Jaber, how you doing? To watch, I understand that. But 30-year lawyer, and I do prep. And when I say prep, when people come out and say, "Well, are you walking the walk? Are these people are walking the walk, or these people aren't walking the walk?" I hear that all the time. What I'm going to discuss with you today, from my perspective, that's walking the walk to me. All right. Do you have get home bags in your vehicles? Do you have 3 bags set up for your family? When my daughters leave town, or my wife, they leave town in the vehicle, they're on the freeway. Hi, Teresa. Um, I go out and I will put a 3-day bag in their vehicle before they get on the road. 3-day bag is different. I did a video on that, I don't know, a couple months ago. Go back and check it out. Um, Hey Pete, how you doing again? Yeah, I mean it's a get home bag. It's not set up for a 3-day bag. It's set up for a short term scenario to get home. If your car breaks down, let's say the road is shut off, you can't get home. In my let's say my area, we have an earthquake in California. Let's say you've got I don't know, high shell tornado, you've got a hurricane, whatever it is. Nicole, hi. Uh, you have to have a short-term situation you can grab and go. Okay, we'll get into it in a second. And that contains shoes and some, apparel and some security and just stuff like that. So we'll talk about it. But when I say for me, walking the walk is having this kind of stuff. Okay, get home bag, 3-day bag, 7-day bag. Food in the pantry. If you guys think you can have a couple cans of food in the pantry, you're good to go. You're sadly mistaken. You're not prepped for anything. If you have 50 rounds of ammunition sitting in your closet, you think you're prepped, you're not prepped for anything. Okay. If you have 5 gallons of water in your pantry, you think you're to go, you are not prepped for anything. And I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, and everyone's got to start somewhere. Okay. I started with 5 gallons of water. I started with a couple cans in the pantry. Something is better than nothing. But you've got to start thinking in a longer term strategy and an overall strategy. Prepping is not just having 10 AR-15s and a bunch of weapons. I think you're going to go take Slim Shady, 4 cans of tuna. Good start. Okay, start with 4 cans and get to 40. All right, or 50 or 100. That stuff lasts a long time. If you think you're going to have a bunch of weapons in your, in your possession, you're going to go and take from others. Good luck. If you have guys like me that understand firearms, and I'm not, not military, that kind of, I'm saying, it's not going to be that easy. You're not going to do it that way. So start thinking about setting up your own situation, setting up enough for your family, and hopefully you're not thinking you're going to go and take from others that have done the work, the legwork that many have not done. Okay, so prepping is, for me, a very broad spectrum thing. It runs the gamut. It's from security, it's food, it's water, it's the get home bag, the 3-day bag. It is. We talk about lots of different types of things. All right, so just don't get myopic on it. And I want to start sharing. We'll start doing more of these lives about different things. Talk about medical stuff, and we'll talk about security to the extent that I can on this channel. It's a little bit obviously censored, so we gotta be careful with that. But again, walking the walk means this, okay? And solutions. So we're going to talk solutions. Let me briefly discuss, and I'll get into the bag, guys. Thanks for 34 people watching. Um, I'm going to start breaking the videos up. During the week, you're going to see more of the thumbnail type stuff. I'm kind of having fun with this thumbnail app my daughter showed me. So, you guys might think it's cheesy. I'm kind of having fun with the thumbnail stuff during the week on economics. But we're going to start putting into the shows a series I'm titling "Stay Out of Court," because what I can start doing is going through hundreds of legal topics. You guys, I've already got 6 or 7 episodes uploaded, from estate planning and trust work to home inspections. I'm going to do one about title reports and reading title reports. Some of it you guys may not be interested in, some of it you might be, but all of them are going to be geared towards avoiding pitfalls of getting yourself involved in the legal system, which I want all of you to avoid. So you'll see those. The thumbnail will be the same. It'll be "Stay Out of Court," but I'm going to be episode, and they're going to be in consecutive order. So please tune into those things. Please share them. I want to keep getting the word out. I mean, it may bomb, I don't know, but I'm going to keep doing those "Stay Out of Courts" because I want to share what I've learned over almost 30 years. And look, it's free legal advice. I say that, and let me back up. I'm not giving individual legal advice. You've got to check the laws in your jurisdiction, state to state, country to country. Obviously differs. Sometimes even county to county differs a little bit on local rules, things like that. But in terms of topics, ideas, things that you should be looking for. Mary, totally interested in the legal stuff. Okay, Maryland English. I'm going to do that. You guys are going to see a couple of those probably a week. I have, like I said, I have got thousands of files and ideas and concepts I can start to discuss. And I'm happy to hear suggestions from you all, what you'd like to hear. Someone posted a comment last week about Social Security planning and Medicare, Medi-Cal, and I think I commented saying I don't do that stuff. So if I don't do it, I can't comment on it, and I'll tell you that. I'll be honest with you. But if it's something in my wheelhouse, I will absolutely address it, and I'll put it in the line to go. Okay, in terms of what we're going to cover. So the shows you're going to see that during the week, um, economic stuff. You're going to see the stay out of courts, and then we'll do these live streams probably on the weekends and do question and answers. I'll read some viewer comments I haven't got to during the week, and then we'll discuss a topic, whether it's a prepping topic or something more important. We'll see. We're getting close to the election selection, so who knows what's going to happen. A lot going on right now. So I appreciate you guys giving me the long intro here. Let me talk about going into my bag and what it is. All right. And again, I would love to hear comments, questions, what you guys, if I can get to them right now, what you guys think. And if you have any input, this is a learning session. We all can learn from each other. I don't profess to have all the answers. I've been trying to study this stuff for the last 12, 13 years. I don't live on a ranch. You guys know I'm not in a rural area. Okay. So, I have to deal with my scenario, my circumstances, and try to plan the best I can for that. All right, that means having a certain amount of water on hand, food on hand, security on hand, medical supplies, all the stuff that comes along with, with preparations. Paris says, I have a 200-round bucket of bullets, won't last 15 minutes, but it's a start. Yep, I understand. I don't disagree with you, but 200 is better than 2 or 10 or 50. How many people I've heard tell me, I have 50 rounds of, whatever hollow points or this or that for my sidearm, and I'm good to go. And I'm not here to, again, tell you that you're not correct there, but I would urge you to consider something broader in terms of your spectrum, and in terms of your volume, right? Okay. So one step at a time. And Pete calls this the right way. It is one step at a time. Nobody should feel discouraged, and nobody should. And when I said you have, this or that, you're not prepped for anything. Again, it wasn't meant to be insulting. So, because again, we all have to start somewhere. It takes time, it takes money, but organization is key, and doing it. Okay, but I just don't want. I see a lot of people come out and say, "Well, I'm prepped and I'm, walking the walk, and I have, 5 cans of food, or I don't have a get home bag, I don't have a 3-day bag, I don't have enough water." So again, those are things they're going to go take from others. Obviously, you should hopefully think twice about that. Let me go into my bag, and by the way, I'm just going to hold it up here so you can see it. This is not fancy, guys. I think I got this bag from Walmart. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to use it that much. If something happens, unlikely event, I'm going to be strap this thing on my back, and I'm going to, as long as you don't need to get a super, super, what is that? Betsy, our old prep saying one and done. Yeah. Well, one is none, two is one, three is two. You guys get that concept, I hope. So this is the bag. Okay, it's 28 pounds. Okay, it's not light. And again, depending on your size and body weight, you guys see my size here. It's what it is. Okay, but I'm going to move to the side so I can show you stuff without it blocking me. Thrifty is important. I wasn't necessarily going for the cheapest bag. I just want something that holds the stuff. This thing rides in the trunk of the car for what? Well, pretty much 100% of the time until something happens where I need this bag. And hunkering down. Ray says I'm not going anywhere. My plans to hunker down. I understand what you're saying, but for me, let's say my office is 4 miles away from my house. If my family's at my house, I'm in my office, something happens, and I've got to get home to the family to hunker down truly and batten up the hatches. Um, I've got to get home. And if I can't just jump in the car and head down the main road or the roads, let's say things are blocked off, let's say there was a major issue and I can't get home and I got to go on foot or whatever it is. That's why you have something like this. Okay. And some might say, well, it's overkill, it's doom and gloom, and that's fine. I'm okay. You guys, everyone can agree to disagree and have their own opinion on stuff. I'm cool with that. I'm not out here telling you that I'm right. I don't have a crystal ball. Ray says, what do you think will happen and when? I have no idea, Ray. And don't mean that to be, kind of abrasive. I have no idea. Maybe nothing, but I believe something could and will. For example, Southern California, we've been having a series of earthquakes more north of here and west of here as of late. I'm reading articles now saying, well, is the big one on the way? Are we going to have some issues? I mean, I don't know. I don't think about day to day because I've got my stuff, right? My stuff's set up. So if it happens, it happens, and hopefully it's not too bad. And then we deal with the situation. But if you don't have anything planned, you don't have anything set up, you're going to be SOL. I'm just telling you, you're going to be SOL. You're looking to others to help you out, and that means you're going to be weak. You're going to be unprepared, and you're going to be a victim, right? And you're going to be vulnerable, okay, to others that are looking to, let's say, take advantage. Okay, so hope that you guys will change. That's why I'm here doing this. Take some time and let's go through it. So we'll open up the bag. I'm going to dissect it. We might go a bit long. We're at 15 minutes, so I apologize if you guys get bored. Just cut off and go do something else. But I guess football starting again soon, so all of the sheep will be watching football and not paying attention to important stuff. Let's talk about. I just got a headlamp here. Okay. Does it work? Yep, it works. Batteries are on. I check the batteries all the time, make sure that it works. Okay, good to have a headlamp. You need to have something hands-free for a light source. Ray says suggests a lot of lead. I mean, you've got to have security. Okay, I will discuss it on the channel if you don't understand that. From my perspective, I do definitely believe in that, but that's not everything. You've got to have security plus plus plus. So headlamp is in the front pocket of this thing, and I carry a what's called a right in the rain pack here. And let me explain that. And I also have one of these in my 3-day bag. You guys might have seen the video on the 3-day bag I did, I don't know, 5-6 months ago. I have a right in the rain pad. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. A right in the rain, RITE in the rain. I don't have any links. I don't get any money from this stuff. It's just what I have. It comes with this little waterproof thing and a couple pens. You've got to have a way to make notes, to keep information. Keep information if you need it for location, you need it for whatever, just reconnaissance. Okay, and then I keep a baggie here, a Ziploc bag, and I opened it a few minutes ago. So let me explain to you what I keep in this thing. I keep some cash. You guys all understand if you've watched this channel. I believe in some cash, not a lot of cash, but I don't know. I keep 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, $120. Okay, and I should have some ones here. I don't have any ones. You guys, small bills as well. And hundreds, forget about it, okay? Oh, yeah, Pete says small bills. You got to have some small bills, and I'm going to change some of these down. I'm seeing this here. Okay, what else do I keep? I keep these are contact list. I keep some of my ham radio frequencies. But here's the important stuff. Let me talk about this. I keep a copy of driver's license for myself, a copy of my CCW card, okay, my concealed weapons permit. If you guys don't have one in your jurisdiction, go look into it. I know that some states are extremely giving and liberal on that stuff. California's tough, but I've gone through the hoops from, I don't know, probably 10, 12 years now and done that. I think it's important to have that. And a copy of my insurance card. So that's what I keep with me, and a copy of my family's identification as well. Copy of our U.S. passports, okay, because I think that's important to have. So I carry that stuff along with some cash. Pizza, we have a good country. Ray, question: what radio do you use? How about the Chinese models? I was going to do a separate show on that. The Baofeng radios are cheap Chinese models, but I will tell you, for the vehicles, the Baofengs and some of the antennas, we'll get into that if you guys want to do that. I do have my ham radio license. I studied for that test years ago as part of my preps, got my license. I have a ham radio set up here. I have ham radio ability from my vehicles. And I think that's important if literally everything goes down. Some might say that's overkill, but I'll tell you, it is an amazing way to communicate. And when you can hit repeaters in your local areas and you understand those frequencies, it's amazing how far these things will reach out. And just in terms of listening in, even in reconnaissance. Now, you don't need a license to listen. You need a license to broadcast. But nonetheless, it can be extremely important, I think, in the event of a real situation, serious situation where communications, these things are, no longer working or whatever, right? So I believe in it. CD McClintock says, my job is only 1.3 miles from my home. And I don't ever travel very far from home. But I still have a loaded AR-15, an NBC gas mask, water, and other things in my car and trunk. Again, that is I believe it's his or her preparedness, right? That's what this person believes is important. CD, I appreciate that. Okay. Betsy R, please hit the like button. Yeah, I mean, I forget to say that, guys. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, all that stuff, so we can try to get the word out. It does mean a lot to me to try to educate you guys while I'm out here doing this, and take some time. Again, I don't. It's not a financial thing. So let's continue on with this get home bag. Showed you the headlamp. And by the way, I don't. This is a cheap one. I think it's Peltz. Is it Peltz headlamps? Peltz. Those are the ones I use in a lot of my other bags. Peltz. I don't know. They're a little bit. Uh, I think they're better. Yeah, no, Petzl. Petzl headlamp. If you guys want to look at that stuff, that's where I have a lot of those products. This is a kind of a cheaper one, but it works for the bag. And again, it just sits in the vehicle, and I can see. But make sure that you check the batteries on these things. If you're in a different kinds of climates, my hot climate here, it just destroys the batteries. Okay, so look at make sure you're changing out batteries and stuff. Okay. All right, let's go into the first little side pocket here and see. It's like a scavenger hunt here. What do I have? Side pocket. I have a flashlight. Yes, batteries work. Okay, flashlight. I mean, not real expensive. I've got a lot of good flashlights, but for something like this, unnecessary. This is a Leatherman. Leatherman multi-tool. Okay, sorry I'm missing some comments, guys. I'm trying to cover some stuff here. Leatherman multi-tool. Which one is this one? I like this one. It is the Wave. Okay, I don't know if you guys like Leatherman stuff. Again, I'm not getting anything. I'm not pushing any products here. The Leatherman Wave. These things are tanks. Okay, I don't know if you guys have checked this stuff out. It's it's good stuff. Okay, so I keep a Leatherman multi-tool, and this is a 4-in-1 tool, right? So this is a mini. Okay, for you guys, check it out. Do your research on what that is. In fact, you know what? The last time I think I did a video on my 3-day bag, and someone said, it was a 3-in-1 or 4-in-1 tool to get that. So I grabbed a couple of these off Amazon. So consider that in terms of accessing, different. Let's see here. The multi-tool will be your most used tool in an urban survival situation. Day-to-day guaranteed excellent choices. That's George or Jorge Romero. Appreciate you. Okay. Pistol Pete's got the Wave, very solid. All right. So look, some of the stuff, I do have quality products. Oh, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I do have quality products. Sometimes the names are important. I think with a multi-tool, obviously don't go cheap. Sometimes, I say sometimes, you do usually get what you pay for. Okay, so keep that in mind in terms of some of the stuff you decide to put, in your bags. All right. Let me see what's on the other side in my little pocket here. Then we'll get into the main compartment. Other side, what do I have? Okay, all right, so once again, I've got a knife. This is a good knife. Okay, so again, it's not about money. You don't need to go spend a bunch of money on this stuff, but some things you do want to have quality. This is a Benchmade product. If you guys know Benchmade, okay, and this is a good knife. It's got some serrations on it. It's sharper than hell. I'll tell you how I know, because I used to carry this in a bag, a brief bag, and I reached in the brief bag one day before I was going to court, and this had opened up a little bit somehow. I reached in to get something. I sliced my finger. I remember going to court and I had my finger wrapped up because I had to rush over to the courthouse and I'd cut myself on this thing. So anyway, this is a Benchmade. It's good stuff. You guys can get do what you want. Hi, Carol. Good to see you. I appreciate you tuning in. So that's a Benchmade knife. Lots of choices for your knives, okay? Another multi-tool there. That's a cheapie that I just threw in the side pocket. So again, sometimes redundancy is good. And again, when you buy quality, a lot of times you're not going to need the redundancy as much because, right, you're buying quality, you're buying stuff that has dependability. Or it says Benchmade is classic. You definitely know your brands and tools worthy in the field. And look, I don't just go spend money to spend money on stuff. Over the years, I have honed it in. I've done some research, and some of the stuff it is important, I think, to buy quality. And then you guys might laugh at me now for some of the stuff I have in this main compartment, right? In terms of like the clothing and things, but there are certain things I think you can kind of I don't say skimp on, but you don't have to go buy a bunch of expensive stuff. So let's talk about apparel. Depending on where you live, your climate, you're going to have different things in your bag. I live in a warm climate, but I will say that during parts of the year, in December, January, February, I mean, it's not snowing. It's not, it's not freezing, but it can get cold to the point where it's uncomfortably cold. Okay. So 50s, 60s. Again, you guys can laugh wherever you're out in the country, up from the East Coast or whatever. But so I don't need to carry really heavy clothing. So but I will carry just a long sleeve garment here. This is more of just to protect skin, right? Depends on what's going on. What do you have? Do you have air quality issues? It does get cold in the desert, Pete said. What do you have? Do you have smoke? Whatever. Got to carry a hat for us. Obviously, we obviously have a lot of sun here, and so if I'm out in the sun, this is important. Let's talk about gloves. All right, and again, these are like gardening gloves or whatever. I think I got these. I don't know where I got these gloves, but whatever. They're not too heavy, but they're soft. Okay, they're almost like fire gloves. But anyway, I keep a good pair of gloves in the bag that you guys got to have this if you have to have. From my perspective, your hands protected. You get your hands cut, you get your hands damaged. Races. I bought a lot of military surplus stuff from Sportsman Warehouse. Okay. Uh, Ray says, I got one of those Gerber LMF2 survival knives, incredibly sharp, made for the Army, I think. Okay. So gloves, please consider those. I mean, you don't want to have necessarily, you don't want to have kitchen sink gloves. Plastic stuff's going to cut and rip. You got to get a decent pair of gloves, but you can go to, you can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, any home improvement store. You don't have to go crazy on your gloves, but have a pair of gloves in your bag, okay? Pistol Pete, sunscreen and bug repellent for sure, absolutely. So again, I carry a couple extra shirts in my bag. This just happens to be kind of a lightweight short sleeve shirt. I don't wear that much anymore. And let me explain that. We talk about do you have to go out and buy stuff? Look, this is stuff I just don't wear. It fits me. Maybe it's a little big, whatever. You don't want to have it be necessarily too small. But this is the kind of stuff that before you just donate or throw it out, set a few things aside and maybe allocate that to your bag because it's sitting in the vehicle or the closet for the 3-day bag or the 7-day bag most of the year. Okay, so just pull out some stuff that maybe you're not wearing anymore. Okay, same thing here. I'm not wearing this stuff. I mean, actually pretty cool. I should wear that more. But again, throw some stuff in the bag that you're not using that makes some sense to you, that you're not going to miss it, and you're not going out spending money. I mean, this is not about going out and spending money. To try to see what you have around the house. Something in these get home bags is better than nothing. Okay. I've got I talked about this. I have shared this before, I believe. This is a pair of wool socks, and I look at in terms of the temperatures. I don't need that here, but in terms of walking, it depends how far you're walking. You've got to have some good socks. So these happen to just be a pair of wool socks. They are a pretty good brand, as I recall. I forget who makes these. But I do have a couple good pairs of socks in the bag as well. And yeah, races, good boots. I think that's true. If you could throw an extra pair of boots in the car, I'm going to talk about shoes. I just have a good pair, or say good pair. I've got a pair of walking shoes that I don't wear anymore. These are just whatevers they were kind of worn out from the gym, so I threw them in the bag because the tread's still good. They're comfortable. They're a distance shoe. They're lightweight. Okay, but boots, I think that a lot of people advocate for boots and in the bag. I think that's fine. Just keep in mind sometimes boots can get heavy, and sometimes boots aren't made necessarily for walking long distances. If you're not used to that, right? If you're not used to walking in boots, I put on the gym every day a pair of shoes kind of like this for my workout. So I can wear those things for hours and be comfortable. Get something that it's not a fashion show. It's not, nobody cares what your brand is. You're going to be looking just to deal with an emergency. You don't want to get blisters. You don't want to have issues, right? Same as the hands, right? Same as keeping your hands protected. If your feet get jacked up, you're not going to be going very far. Okay, so just be smart about that, and keep that in mind. I talk about sorry, canteens of water. Again, you guys can do whatever you want. Water's heavy. It's heavy. I have a couple canteens here of water. I do change this water out every few months just for the heck of it, but you don't need to. These get warm here in my area, sitting in the car. But a couple canteens of water, and these add to the weight. I told you my bag is 28 pounds. These add to the weight of the bag. But you've got to have a source of hydration. Okay, so I carry a couple canteens of water in the bag. All right, what else do I have here? All right, I've got a. This is funny because I set these bags up before these masks or anybody even cared about masks and N95, right? N95 particulate masks. Okay, so we all learned about this during the pandemic, but scamdemic. But look at have a particular mask, and the reason why is depending on what you have. If you have dust in the air, if you have fire, if you have something else going on, um, again, already says if you're in the woods, get work boots. I recommend red red box leather, waterproof, oil-proof. Like, and again, it depends on your situation. If you're rural, are you rural? Are you in the woods? Are you in a big city? Are you kind of like where I'm at, where you're not necessarily a big city, but you've got our roads out here. It just takes forever to get. It seems like you're going for miles sometimes, and you're on just blacktop with sidewalks. So again, you're going to have to decide what works for you and your circuit. This is not meant to be for everybody. You've got to kind of mold from this. I just want to give you some ideas. But the N95 mask, important. Smoke, dust, whatever it might be. You've got to have, I think, a way to shield your face, and maybe even if you want to kind of conceal. You throw a hat on, you throw this on. You know, that is something that I would suggest you guys consider. So I have some paracord here. Why? I tell you that I'm kind of embarrassed to say I forget why I've got this. I just have it, so I threw it in the bag. I know instead of setting up lean-tos, things like that, I do have this little tarp, and I think that was one of my thoughts in terms of if you got to be protected from the elements, whatever your weather is, you got to have a little lean-to with a tarp. It's lightweight, and maybe it's paracord. You set it up that way. I think that was my thinking with regard to this. Again, comment below and see what you think about that. Pete says dollar stores are great for paracord. Okay, all right, good point. Some TP, good old toilet paper, right? Sanitation and preps. I'm not talking about the get home bag necessarily, but sanitation and preps is really important. If you guys haven't thought about that, you need to consider that, because on a broader scale, if the water stops running and you can't flush those toilets, you guys better have backup plan there. Okay, and there's different ways to or short sleeve. Hey, yeah, it's true. Any fabric. Okay, we can go back to the old leaf, right? Whatever it is, but whatever. Little toilet paper is what it is. These are some energy bars that I keep in here. These are millennial bars. Okay, and I'll throw a couple of these out. These are not millennial. They are called Millennium bars. Again, no links below, guys. I'm not any affiliate stuff. That's what these are. These things here, energy bars, and they last for forever. They're 400 calories, and they've got some fat, 18 grams of fat. They have some sodium. They've got 53 grams of carbs. You need carbs. If Shell says doggy poop babs. Okay, yeah, doggy poop bags. Thanks, Shell. Carbs, 53 carbs, and they got 8 grams of protein. On the end all be all, no. But if you're walking a distance to get home or whatever, these things might not be a bad idea to throw into your bag. This is called the Electrolyte Replenishment Quick Stick, STIK. I'm assuming they still make this stuff. You guys can see that there. These are just electrolytes you throw into some water. Gives you some sodium, gives you some potassium, things like that. Again, depending on the distance you're trying to cover and what's going on, I recommend having some electrolyte stuff. This doesn't go bad. These things, the shelf life on these Millennium bars is pretty long. So I keep a handful of those, and I keep some of the electrolyte packets as well. What else do we have here? Matches. Again, sardines. Okay, never heard of sure. Keep some matches. I keep some aqua tabs. Okay, throw those in water for purification. Again, some of the stuff may be overkill for appreciate you, Jorge. Yeah, guys, please share the video with people. I mean, maybe it'll help. Maybe some people will pick up some ideas, some suggestions, implement even a little bit of way into their situation. Or maybe you guys give me some some ideas as well. Things I haven't thought of. Last time I did the 3-day bag, the 3-day bag, I picked up some ideas from you guys, and I went out and make some purchases. So aqua tabs, some matches. What is this? And this is the water. This is a portable aqua, PA plus water purification. Again, depending on your situation. Okay, if you run out of water, I got 2 canteens, and these things are kind of heavy, right? Even with the water, the small amount of water I have here, that goes out. Depending on your situation, you may want to be able to quickly purify some water. K9 girl, I have TP tablets in the 3-day bag, lightweight and takes up little room. Okay, all right, that's a good suggestion. Oh, okay, Pete says those are good. I'm gonna make a note on that. TP tablets, okay. And then matches. Let's keep matches. All right. And the matches, I also carry some. These are cotton balls, and these are basically Vaseline coated cotton balls. Excellent source of fire. Now, again, maybe it wouldn't be that important for me. If you guys are in a cold climate and you need quick fire, maybe it's wet. Okay, and the wood is wet, the timber's wet around you. Some of this stuff is good. I just like to have the ability to have quick and easy access to fire or heat. You may or may not need it, depending. This bag may come into play. Late at night one night. You just don't know. So I try to cover as many bases as I can with this. And for me, some aqua, some water purification is important, and some way to quickly start a fire without having the old fire starter, and you gotta have dry wood and tinder and all that kind of stuff. This is just a general kind of an all-purpose. Let me get back real quickly to the food situation. It's not for food per se. This is more akin to the energy stuff. Okay, tons of ads. Sorry, Faye. A lot of ads on the show tonight, guy. Are you seeing that? Lots of ads. All right, maybe YouTube's picking this thing up and pushing it out, but tons of ads. Sorry, but you guys, I don't stick with the ads. I know that's annoying. When I get ads too, I get annoyed. I do hit skip after they play their minimum amount, but it does take. You don't lose any content. I think it clips you back to where I ended. So these are survival food packs. These are SOS Food Labs Inc., the U.S. Coast Guard stuff. Again, I've had these for quite a while. If you guys, maybe these things are discontinued now, I don't know. Okay, but they seem to last a long time. I got them in the bag. Again, they have high calories per bar, 6 bars per packet, 400. You just watch the commercial. Okay, sorry, Jaybird. Well, the commercials, yeah, don't let them play a little bit for me, guys. Why not? Anyway, calories, 400 calories, protein, 3 grams of protein, carbs, 52 grams of carbs, some fat, 20 grams of carbs, and some sodium. Okay, so again, same kind of stuff as the Millennium bars. I keep a couple of these SOS bars in the bag as well. And this is a kind of a catch-all bag. It's very light, but it's just some light medical. And for those of you that are going to jump on me and say, that's fine, you guys can hit skip. Sorry about that. But, for you guys, I say I'm not going to cover medical. I do keep a separate bag for medical in my car. It's I keep a little med kit. I wasn't going to address it on this show, but I brought it out just to let you know I do carry it. I just don't have the meds in the same bag per se. But in this bag, I do have some things. All right, I do carry emergency bandage, trauma wound. Okay, so that's saying what is this? This is it's got expiration date on it. All right, so I carry this thing as well. 6-inch hemorrhage control bandage. I carry some gauze. I carry some Zantac for allergy stuff. I carry some gauze sponges here. Okay, so I do have a few things in here. Some band-aids. This is very general stuff, guys. But I just put it in here. Okay, some Benadryl. If you have allergies, I have allergies. I have food allergies. I don't have medication allergies or like environmental stuff, pollen, things like that. But you never know. Okay, so Benadryl, it's not only good, it's good for allergies. It's antihistamine. Okay, so if, let's say you're in an area where you got pollen, and some people are very allergic to grass, pollen, certain types of things blooming in certain seasons. Trust me, nothing is more miserable, especially if you're under stress, than having some kind of allergic reaction or antihistamine reaction. So keep that in mind for those with allergies. Some wound seal, okay, a little wound seal applicator, which can be helpful. Band-aids, some Blistex, some chapstick type stuff if you're out in the sun or the heat. Um, and then I carry some adhesive tape, obviously that would help to go into play with this, okay? If there's kind of a cut or a wound. So if this is not a med kit. This is just some stuff I tossed in that I thought was important to have. Some wipes, okay? You guys probably want to consider some of that stuff, all right? Maybe some Advils, things like that as well. I think would be helpful. I won't waste your guys' time while I'm unpacking this stuff. I'll get to the side and keep going so we can move this thing along, and I'll go back and clean it up later. What is this? This is a very simple, small pair of binoculars. Okay, so these are Tascos. I don't know, 10 by 25s, guys. Reconnaissance. Okay. All right, Pete Taylor. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. These are just very simple binoculars, okay? But if you need to reach out a little bit and find out what's going on ahead of you on the road, what have you, that is something I would consider having. There's not heavy weight. Be able to throw it around your neck, and you guys can gather intel on the road ahead, or if there's stuff going on. I think that's something that you would want to consider, even for a get home bag, because of depending on what's going on and what time of day. Okay, I carry hard candy, and I carry some caffeine gum. Okay, hard candy, depending on cold for flu or high blood pressure. All right, I like that. Cold and flu stuff and high blood pressure medications. Also, let me add in right now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you are diabetic, I have friends of mine that are diabetic. You guys, I think you've got to have that insulin. Okay, if you go into a diabetic situation, I carry EpiPens. So because I have food allergies, if I travel, I got EpiPens in my car, in my suitcase, at the office. If something happens, I get one of those foods that is serious with me. The EpiPen could be important. So if you guys have major, and I probably should throw one in here, but food is not going to be an issue as much for me in terms of my allergic reaction. So I don't have one. But EpiPen may be important to you if you're, let's say, severely allergic to bee stings, certain kind of pollen reactions, certain environmental reactions. I don't know. Some people have extreme reactions to some of that stuff. Keep it in mind. Okay, you got to inject your EpiPen. You guys think about that if you have bad allergies. This is military energy gum. All right, I carry some of this stuff as well. It's basically caffeine gum. All right, depending on what's going on. If you're stuck somewhere for long hours and you're tired, or what, could be in the middle of the night, I keep some of that caffeine gum, and then just some of this hard candy, guys. This stuff lasts. This stuff will outlast the next nuclear apocalypse. Probably, it'll be these things and cockroaches left over. So this is just hard candy. Some of the the cinnamon things, butterscotch things. It doesn't really go bad. Okay, so auto-injector, but that's an elite level medical thing. Yeah. So hard candy, I keep that also in my 3-day bag and my preps, okay, my food preps for the family in terms of just, it's a pick me up. If you need some sugar, some caffeine. All right, what do we have down here then? I've got this. Okay, so let's talk about for the silver bugs and for the stackers. People are gonna laugh. Probably I'll get some stuff for this. I don't know how many silver lovers there are out there. I know there's some watching right now of the 61 of you, but I do carry some silver here in the bag. Actually, it's quite a bunch of silver. I don't need this one. This probably adds a few pounds to my bag. This is 90% stuff, guys. And I guess I have it in my mind that depending on the scenario and how bad it is, that that this stuff will be recognizable and it will be barterable. Is that a scenario where you'd really be using it in the get home bag versus a longer term? You guys can comment below, but I do keep some junk silver. And when I say junk silver, I mean 90%. So we're talking 1964 and earlier, right? Dimes, quarters, half dollars. I've got some Kennedy half dollars in here. If you guys know your Kennedy half dollars, okay. Got some 50-cent pieces there. I've got some other coins here that I keep, and I just like to have the junk silver with me, so I do keep some of that as well. The dimes, small denominations, okay. Some of these dimes are just super old dimes. This thing is, I'm getting on a tangent, 1934 dime. This is a 1935 dime. I love this stuff. So I keep a little bag of junk silver with me, and it is what it is. People that know it will know it. It's really hard to counterfeit per se, and so I just feel good having it. What else do I have here? Some shout wipes. I don't know why those are random. Okay, a pair of socks. I have I showed you I've got the wool socks. I also have an extra pair of socks, just general gym socks, walking socks. You want to have that as a backup, okay, guys, from my perspective. What else do I have here? Maps. I keep these also in the 3-day bag, but maps I think are important. Sorry it's going so long, 46 minutes. I'm just going to keep covering this stuff. If you guys like it, or pause it, or stop and go back and watch it later. And please share, please subscribe, please like this stuff for me, so we keep getting the word out. So I'm in my local area. I've got some maps in my local areas. Okay, maps I think are important to have. If Waze goes down, if your navigation app goes down and you need that, it's probably not as important necessarily for a get home bag. But if you work far away, if you work in an area far from your home, you may want that. A trucker's atlas, okay. Depend, believe in Jesus Christ. A trucker's atlas. All right, I'll look at that. Look into that. That's a good idea. But maps, I do keep some maps. I keep a little roll of duct tape, and again, in my mind, that goes towards this, and then create a bit of a lean-to if you needed to, or some kind of shelter from the elements, depending on how long you are in the elements. Talking about that, just some cheap emergency ponchos I have here. Again, these things are cheap. You can get them anywhere you want online. Are they high end? No, they're just going to keep maybe some of the elements off you, keep you dry if you need to, and they're super light. Physical compass, I think that's a good idea as well. I mean, if you're in your local community, you're just getting home, fine. If you're working, let's say, away from home, it might make some sense. Got some hooks here. Let me see what else I have, guys. I think we're getting down. I think kind of down to the end of what I do in my bag, and you can see some of it. That's why it's on. I carry some earplugs. Okay, obviously, if you need those, if you obviously have to use the firearm, you may not. You may need that, but I carry some cheap foam earplugs. Let's talk about quickly the security. My security is always on me, so I don't have in my 3-day bag. I do have a separate firearm. I carry it's allocated to that. In my get home bag, I don't, because that's always with me. So I would be on my person if I was, making my way on foot from the vehicle to my home. or from my office to my home, things of that nature. So you guys have got to do do stuff that's workable for you, and obviously operate within the laws. For me, I have a carry permit, so I can carry. I can have that thing on my person. Check your rules in your state, your jurisdiction are going to vary. You may not need a permit, and you may need one, right? If you have a weapon on your person, it doesn't matter if it's an emergency or not. In my state, in California, you don't have a carry permit, and you get flagged with that. Guess what? You're going to get arrested. There's going to be some problems. So keep it in mind. So that is the get home bag. I'd love some comments from all of you. Let me know what you think on this stuff, and if you think that any of it is superfluous, if I'm missing something that all of you at the compass was a good idea as well. And again, just briefly, the medical bag, since we're here anyway, let's just quickly go through it. But I'll do this in more depth on another show, along with the communication stuff as well. But the medical kit, and I keep this as well. I would just throw this into the get home bag if I had to leave the vehicle or whatever. Okay, so compression bandage. I keep some pain medication stuff, compression gauze, gloves, some tape. I keep, of course, guys. And again, I don't want to turn it into a medical video, okay? But we want to a plastic raincoat for sure. I kind of look at this as like a plastic raincoat, the poncho, but I think that's a good idea. Blanket in the car for winter if stranded at are good idea. Tourniquet, guys, this is key. All right, you got to have a good tourniquet. These are cat tees. Sorry, guys, Miles is going to go crazy because the family's coming home. These are cat T tourniquets. You got to have a good tourniquet, good pair of to cut clothing if you need that for wound addressing or location or what have you. So we'll cover the medical kit in a different video, but I didn't want you to think that I ignored that. Okay, compact wound seal, chest wound seal. These things are all in here. We'll deal with it separately, and you should have that. Okay, I know I covered the general bag with just some quick bandage things, and that's okay. But you've got to have more than that, I believe, at your disposal at all times. And for sure, a tourniquet. That above and beyond anything, I believe you've got to have the ability to stop, that bleeding if there's a serious wound, gunshot wound, whatever it would be. So, okay, I think I've dissected a bunch of stuff here. You guys have an idea of where I'm at, where I'm going with this. Please watch the shows. Check out Stay Out of Court series. That's totally different from this, right? I won't be sitting here, in a t-shirt, and we'll be covering some legal topics. You're welcome, Betsy. Thank you. And we're going to keep expanding on. It's about the breadth and what I can bring to the table, what I can offer you guys. And so we're going to keep going. Maybe we'll do more preps on the live shows. Oh, I did want to read some comments, and I wanted to share a few of those real quickly because I said I was going to do that on the show every time. So we're going to do that real quick before we before we go off here. I want to read a couple comments that were important to me. Thanks, Shell. I didn't have a chance to respond to it. I was out of the area for business for a couple of days, and I've been super busy lately, so I haven't had a chance to respond to a lot of your comments. I do read them. I don't have a chance to always get to everything, so appreciate your patience. I do. Hey, Roger, you're welcome. Let me read a couple quick comments. At index 01234 says, this is about the stock market. This is why I wanted to share this, because what I was saying is there's a divide between Wall Street and Main Street, right? And this was a very, very insightful comment. I think it's very accurate. And this says it's not that some segments of society have money to burn in the stock market, but like senior citizens, of those retired, we are driven to Wall Street out of sheer need for income whilst the costs of living increase. Social Security decreases or tax brackets are increased. Our investments are also taxed. Life savings plundering by politicians. We have no choice if we are to survive this. And hi, Teresa, thank you. I thought that was a very insightful comment. It's not, I didn't mean to suggest it was just the wealthier people. I think I discussed briefly, a lot of people are reaching for yield, reaching for ways to earn some money and get some kind of return because their retirement income, Social Security, pensions, things like that are not enough to bridge the gap, right, between what they're getting in and the increase in all these costs across the board. So I appreciate that comment. And that's definitely a part of what's happening. We have the segment of society that's having to try to take risk, okay, that maybe they otherwise wouldn't take because they're trying to find a way to bridge the gap. I mean, the delta between what they have going out and what they have coming in. And I feel for those people because they were planning for retirement, let's say before the pandemic hit and before the inflation started to get away. And look, at it may continue to get away from us. I have no doubt that once Powell starts reversing course and cutting rates, that we're going to see inflation spike even more. So this may unfortunately just be the beginning. Another comment. As my video I did on the AI the other day, I think it was Klarna and losing 2,000 jobs or firing 2,000 people, and how AI was going to be taking 300 million jobs in the coming years. Someone asked me if there was a time frame in the article I shared, and there was not. I would have shared that. So it was a little bit vague in that regard. But this Zach Sweden 519, Zach says, I work heavily in AI. It's not going to happen. When the AI bubble pops sometime next year, the expectations will come back to earth. AI will replace some brainless tasks like order taking or equity and inclusion committees, but it's not going to replace most jobs. Even for order taking, some pilot programs have failed. Okay, so that was Zach's, a guy that works in the industry in AI. Zach says it's not going to happen. So, love to hear your comments on that. Again, during the week, I share with you what's kind of hitting the wire and what I see is important. That was about job loss and a lot of people getting replaced with AI. And that comment was very, very astute, and I appreciate it. Wayne Kim / DV6ID says, I've been reading the book, The Great Depression, A Diary. And the market seems to be doing what it was doing back in 1929. All the similarities of 1929 and 2024 are incredible. And I've told you before, I'm reading that book. Okay, I'm reading it. There it is, The Great Depression, A Diary. If you guys have a chance to pick that up, I think it's worthwhile. I'm slow to read books because I read so much every day for my job that I'm slow to get through this stuff. But I am reading this book. I'm about halfway, 2/3 through it, and it is eerie. The similarities that you see, it's not just the greed, but it is the greed. It's the FOMO and these market tops. And what this book encapsulates is this guy was sure he was a lawyer during the time, and he encapsulates and shares day by day, blow by low, as the Great Depression was unfolding, what was happening in the markets. And he recites stocks, what they were at a certain point in time, a certain day, and the next day, months later, and how far some of those stocks fell during the Great Depression was truly amazing. I would say some of them lost 90% or more. So people, and it shares in the book, people lost fortunes. People with real estate portfolios lost fortunes, right? Because people that rented the properties could no longer pay the rent. So it's an eye-opening book, all right? But anyway, thanks for that comment, Wayne. Nicole White. Nicole, I think, are you still on, Nicole? You're still on, Nicole. I'm going to share your comment here. Nicole says, I worry my children will not, and this is in response, I forget which video this was, but she says, I worry my children will not have the same life and freedom I've enjoyed, a good paying job, buying a house, etc. Sometimes it's hard when you wake up and see what's really going on in this world. There are days I wish I was still asleep. But I continue on preparing for whatever happens and to protect my kids. Hi, Nicole. Okay, there's Nicole's comment. Okay, so I appreciate that. You know what? It encapsulated kind of where I come from every day. Okay, and it is hard when you wake up and see everything that's happening, and you worry. And if you have family and kids, and family, you do worry about that stuff. So I wanted to share Nicole's comment. And again, this is what part of this is today. Maybe it's a minor part, but it is from my perspective, nonetheless. a small piece of the puzzle that you've got to think about, because it's important that you be able to, get to where your kids are, get to where maybe you're going from your office to your school, to your kids' school. Maybe you're going from your office to your wife's employment, where she's working. Maybe you're going back to the home where the family is, and there's a security breach. You got to get home, and you can't jump in your car and do that. So that's what this is all about. Okay. 28 pounds is my bag. It's probably a bit heavy, but have something in place. This is walking the walk. All right. This is walking the walk. So it's not an ego thing, it's an educational thing. Hope you guys got something from this. Again, it went almost an hour today. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like, share, and do all that stuff. I'll be back with some more segments this week, and be in the office tomorrow working. Yes, it's Labor Day, but I don't really take many days off unless I'm really out of town. So I'll be getting something up tomorrow, and then we'll do some more Stay Out of Court series this week as well. I appreciate if you guys would share those as well with people and spread the word. Let's get that out, that we can keep maybe helping some people stay out of the legal system, out of offices like mine. Okay, appreciate you all. Have a great wet rest of your weekend. If you're off work tomorrow, enjoy the day with family and friends and loved ones. Stay safe, and God bless you all. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.